Hello, everybody. We are live. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chris, and this is We Love Comics. It is approximately 10 after 5 Eastern Time. Normally, I wouldn't do a video this late, but this comic just arrived, and I'm actually doing a literal unboxing because this is actually a box for once. So I'm super excited about that. But I figured I was originally going to wait until tomorrow and do it earlier, but then I'm like, hardly anybody watches anyway, so I might as well just do it now and not have to wait and open this box because this isn't a major key book, but it's a book that I've always wanted, but the prices of it were just too high for me to justify purchasing it. And then a newly listed book happens to come online, and I got it for a price that's way below what I believe the grade is going to come out to be. And I just, like I say all the time, I want to show people that deals are out there on books that you don't think you would normally be able to afford or think are just too expensive. If you don't give up, I'm trying to show these things to get people inspired that if I can do it, you can as well. So we got Silver Age Surfer, one of my moderators, is here. Welcome, says, hey, Chris, good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Let's give a shout out, speaking of which, because he is one of my Patreon members. If you want to join my Patreon, like Silver Age Surfer, you can go to patreon.com/we love comics. The newest thing that I've added for paid members is anytime I do an auction, I do a sneak peek video 1 week beforehand. Um, if you are a paid Patreon member, you get a week access before the sneak peek video for my auction. So basically 2 weeks before the auction even starts to be able to see the list of the books that I'm selling. No one else can see that until the sneak peek video. And you can make offers on any of the books before anybody else gets the chance to. So if you're somebody that buys from me often, it's something that will benefit you. So patreon.com/we love comics. There is no minimum other than the minimum to join, and you'll get your name shouted out every video. So Sith Lord Michael, Kevin, Dan, Herbert, Annabelle, Jason, Kim, Bless, Joey, Ashton, Kendall Kid Comics at YouTube, at ScottW077 at Instagram, Stephen L. Turk Author Facebook, and last but not least, at Silver Age Surfer _comics on Instagram. Go check them out and give them a follow. So this is a newly listed book. And I want to show, by the way, because I talk about how I literally don't look for any specific books. I just write the word comics in the search engine and I put a specific price range. This way it eliminates all the $5 and dollar comics and the $10,000 comics, which I can't afford. So do a price range, and I do just the word comics. So I'm never looking for a specific book. And I'll do either a newly listed, buy it now, best offer, or ending soonest as an auction. So make sure you separate those two. And I literally talk about all the time where I will literally see a book 3 minutes or less of when it just came on as a best, just put on as a newly listed and find them. And I've gotten comments and people saying they don't believe me. So I want to show you, if you haven't seen the video I did, I believe yesterday, um, so I won't disclose what the comic is. You could check the video out. But I want you to see, I forgot to show this. The seller put this in there. That said, we had a vision. Your offer was seconds after listed. So literally within less than a minute of this person posting that listing, I just happened to see it and bought it right away. So it happens to me all the time. So I just want to encourage people. I don't, like I say, I don't do these things to brag or try and shove it in people's faces. Oh, look what I got and look what the price I paid. It's to get people to understand that even when you're talking valuable books, expensive books, hard to get books, there are deals always out there. You just got it. Like they say, Michael Jordan once said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I'm trying to encourage people through my examples that if I can do it, you can absolutely do it as well. So Alex Estrada is here. Good to see you. Silver Age Surfer says the Fantastic Four 48A purchase from you arrived several days ago. Awesome. Great to hear. Thank you. It was well packaged and there were no problems. Thanks for a smooth transactions. My friend, you are very welcome. Silver Age Surfer has purchased from me a few times. He's purchased from my auctions. And I take a lot of pride in making sure that packages are well protected. They're sent out right away. I make sure I have communication. And that's key. So thank you for posting that. I really appreciate that. So here, ladies and gentlemen, there is a legitimate box. No manila envelope this time. And it's only one book. It's not even a graded book. So as usual, I always ask people that I buy from how I would like it sent out. And I tell them, can you please mail it in a box? And I give a nice explanation why. It doesn't always work, as you can see with some of the videos I've done this week. But every now and then, people will listen, or at the very least, sometimes if they're going to do like a Gemini mail or something, they may throw in, some extra cardboard or some extra protection. So it's always good to have extra protection. That's what she said. So as you can see, I ordered a lifetime supply of Dove soap bars. So I will have visibly improved skin in just one shower. How good is that? Who doesn't want visibly improved skin in only one shower? Normally it takes two, maybe even 2.5, but not now. So if there's anybody that works for the Dove Corporation, I think you owe me some royalties for that one. Or maybe I'll just give the first one as a freebie. But this person did a great job with this. They even put a bunch of extra support. It was all in one spot, so I don't know what that was supposed to do, but the heart is in the right place. Who knows? Maybe there's like $50 bills in each section. I'll have to check. So this is a book that I have always wanted. It's not Amazing Fantasy 15 or anything. And I'm going to show you the price I got, because as usual, well, I'll tell you the price I got. Now, it's going to look wrinkly. It's not the comic, it's actually the bag. So I'm going to replace the bag. But this is easily a 6.0 to a 7.0 grade. This person had this listed. Well, I'll show it first and I'll see what you guys would be willing to pay for this book. But I just want to show you guys that if you look under newly listed comics or auctions, there are always deals out there. All right, so let's show the book and then I'll go from there. So I got Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Now, I've always wanted this book because I have issue 1, 2. I sold issue 3, but I did have issue 3. I have 4, 5, 6, 7. I never had 8. I had 9, but I sold it. And I've never had issue 10. This book, look at the colors. This book is like 1965, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the first appearance of the Enforcers, which isn't a big deal. But I mean, look at the colors. Now, again, those wrinkles are on the bag. There are a few little minor color breaks. Like there's one right there. But not anything major. You can see the top, the corner, the edge, not completely sharp. Nice edge along the side here. So this is probably, like I said, the worst thing here is a dog ear color break increase. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. See right there by his foot? It goes across like there. So you can see it. That's the worst part of the book. It has off-white to white pages. Somebody wrote that. Okay, so ignore the wrinkles. Like I said, this is at least a 6.0. Could be as high as a 7. I want you guys who can participate or want to participate, tell me if you saw this as a buy it now, what would be the highest you would have paid for this book? Now, I don't want people to guess. I don't want people to assume. I want people to look up the prices of books that not have been listed but have been sold. Because the more you familiarize yourself with these things, the quicker you can be to spot a deal or avoid something. Like, for example, I see books like especially Invincible. I see ending soonest with auctions where people, if they actually did a search for the book, they're bidding like $100 to $200 higher than what you could go and look on another auction for somebody selling the same exact book for a buy it now price, because people get lost in the emotion and they don't want to take the effort. They just want to place a bid and not worry. Well, that's great if you're, somebody like Bill Gates who has unlimited amounts of funds. But for people, I'm sure like a majority of people, or at least some of the people that watch my channel, they may have a limited budget and they can't just throw away $10,000 here, even $1,000 there. You want to put the effort in, and that's knowledge. So I encourage people to do that. So I want people that are willing to participate in the live chat, or if you're watching this later after it's uploaded, be kind enough to put it in the comments section. If you wanted to buy Amazing Spider-Man 10, and again, it's ungraded, but I would say this is easily at least a 6.0. I'm sure many people would agree. I mean, look at the colors of that book. How red, how deep red. And the back is all white. What would be the most you would have paid for this book? So I'll give it a second for people to look it up, but put it in the live chat. Tell me what is the highest amount that you would have paid for this book if this was a book you wanted to add to your collection. And like I said, this is absolutely a book I've seen dozens of times over the years, but this book, even in lower grade, you're talking hundreds of dollars. And I just thought for the characters that are in it, it wouldn't be worth a very expensive price. But I like the fact that I have almost all the first 10 issues of Spider-Man. I mean, 8 is another book that unless I found a really good price of, it's the first appearance of the Living Brain. I mean, that's not going to be anything major. I wouldn't buy that one again unless I had a good price, and that's why I bought this one. So I'll assume that somebody out there is watching it later and puts what they would pay for this. This person did not have a best offer. It was an instant, just listed book for a buy it now of $200. This book in a 1.0 to a 1.5 would cost about $200. In a 6.0, this is about a $500 to $600 book. And just to show you, this person either bought or was selling it for $500. Okay? So I'm not making this stuff up because I do my research, and that's why I want you guys and girls out there to do your research so you don't assume. Because Silver Age Surfer, $325 for this book in this grade would be too low for the most of the time. But I got this for $200. Add the shipping and taxes. I paid a grand total of $225.34. This book will absolutely be getting graded this month when I send my 4 books to PGX. And this will be anywhere between a 6.0 and a 7.0 grade. Go look up that. Even if you looked up a 5.0, a 5.0 is worth about 300 to 400. So again, without doing anything, I could literally sell this right now and more than double my money. Even if I didn't grade it, I wouldn't have to wait one day. I could literally say, which I'm not because I always sell books that are graded. I could literally double my money, if not more, by not doing anything. And again, and I keep stressing this because I want it to hit home with people. There are many channels out there in the comic book community. There's not just one. There are many, especially the bigger channels, that will tell you for any comic book investment, you have to wait anywhere from 2 years to 5 years to 10 years to 20 years to make money on a comic. And that is the worst strategy and worst information you could get from anybody. Because, like I keep trying to tell people, let's just average it out to 5 years. Think about what you could, let's say you have $500 right now. Think about what $500 buys you now at a grocery store and what 5 years ago that same 500 would have bought for you. It would have bought a lot more. So if you're holding on to something where you have to spend multiple years of doing nothing, first of all, your money is not circulating. So it's basically on a temporary hold where you can't do anything. And during that 5-year, 10-year, 20-year waiting period, the value of your dollar goes down, and that same amount buys you less product as the years go on. So anybody that gives you strategy of investing, where they're telling you 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years you have to hold a book or any kind of investment to make money is not somebody I would hitch my horse to as far as the wagons. So this was a just listed book. This was a seller that had this for a buy it now at $200. Because I know the value of this book, I snatched it up before anybody else got the chance. Because even if this had $200 and best offer, I wouldn't have taken the time to do a best offer. Because by the time I would have sent a best offer and for them to have read it or even seen it, somebody else would have snatched this book up at $200. So again, I'm trying to let people know. Now, is this, like Amazing Fantasy 15? Of course not. I'm not trying to say that. But you've seen books that I've had that are key books that I get for half, if not more than half, of its current value at the time I get it, which means I could turn around and sell them. I mean, it'll take what? At the end of the month, I send it in to get graded. It takes about a month and a half to 2 months to get it back. So literally, I can only hold on to this book for about 3 months and more than triple my money, especially if it comes back a 6.5 or a 7.0, or who knows, maybe a 7.5. I mean, this book looks gorgeous. And I paid about a 2.0 price. So they are out there. I just want to explain that to people because I want people to succeed. I want you to understand that if you put in the time, if you put in the effort, if you know what you're doing, instead of just guessing, instead of just estimating, knowing is the key. And like I said, this person either bought it or was trying to sell it for $500, which would not be a bad price for a book that's a 6.0 to a 7.0. If people don't want to listen to me, that's perfectly fine, and I understand, because everybody has the right to do what they want. But what that tells me is I become grateful that people don't want to listen, because then I don't have to worry about seeing a deal, and by the time I go to hit buy, somebody else took advantage and purchased it. But they're out there. If you're willing to take the effort, if you're willing to do the time it takes to succeed, you can get to the point where you can keep finding deal after deal, sell those books, double and triple your money, use that money to buy something better. Now, if you have $50,000 in your bank account, it's easy to buy a $50,000 comic book. But can you get $5,000 worth of comics, keep selling them, and get that $50,000 from the profit that you sell books at and buy a $50,000 item? Even though you spent $50,000, you didn't spend $50,000. You spent only the initial $10,000. So anybody can buy a $50,000 book if they have $50,000 in their bank account. But can you buy a $50,000 book by starting out with a $5,000 purchase and making profit after profit, getting up to $50,000? So even though you have $50,000 to buy that book, it was only $5,000 of your money. So you bought a $50,000 book for $5,000. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. And again, most people aren't going to listen. Most people aren't going to care, and that's perfectly fine. The few people that will listen and see time and time again, look at the video I did yesterday. Another book that I got that was a key first appearance. And again, I'll show the letter the person sent me from the video from just yesterday. Said, we both had a vision. Your offer was seconds after listed. So I don't make these things up. I'm not one of those YouTubers that tries to make up things to make myself look good. Because it doesn't work anyway, because you can see how many people watch my videos. But you understand what I'm saying. I don't make stuff up. I tell it as I see it, because I want you to see that if I can do it, you can do it. And I get things even like this that I just got this week. Superman 14. It is a 0.5. Low grade is better than no grade. I'm seriously thinking about cracking that open because I really think it should be a 1.0. But you can watch that video. And again, I got this for, even at a 0.5, I paid under about $600 less than what the lowest sale was in that same grade. So they're out there. So I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think paying $200 for this is a steal? Again, those wrinkles are on the bag, not on the comic. Colors are absolutely beautiful. I got this for $200 plus shipping, so $225.34. Amazing Spider-Man number 10. First appearance of the Enforcers. Not a big deal with that. But hey, still, first 10 issues of Spider-Man, definitely worth getting. So we have J Mills 181 is in the house. He says he would have paid 450. So still, that's not a bad price. Silver Age said 325. So they're out there. So GTK Comic, Silver Age Surfer underscore comics, J Miltz. Forgive me if I say that wrong. Now, let me see if there's anybody else. Nitro and Alex Estrada. You're all today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. Um, Alex says, Chris, did you ever buy any treasury books from Marvel DC? No, because I just don't have much room for those bigger books. They never really fascinated me. The fact that they're so large, it takes up such room. You can't put them in a comic box or anything. They were just never my cup of tea. I did buy the one with Superman fighting Muhammad Ali, but that's a book that I quickly sold when I was moving from New York to Florida to raise the money to move to Florida. That was the only oversized book I ever got. And as interesting, as cool as it was, it's just the size of it was just, it just takes up too much room. But the good thing is, when somebody like me says they don't like something that maybe you do, that just means one less person that might outbid you or find the book before you do and keep you from having the opportunity of owning it. So if you look at things from a more positive point of view, be happy when people don't like what you collect or think what you're collecting is silly or you paid too much. I mean, I had people when I bought my Superman number 2 laughed at me when I bought it thinking it was a facsimile cover because that's what the seller thought it was, and I paid $385 for Superman number 2. Well, it was restored, but it was the original cover still attached to the book, came back a 4.0. Even restored, a 4.0 Superman 2 is worth about 10 grand. I paid 325 or $385 for it, and people laughed at me. So the one thing I love is when you have people that don't like what you collect, that just means less competition, less people to worry about taking a book that you wanted. And that's why, yes, this is not a holy grail book or anything, but it was a book I wanted to add to my collection, but I didn't want to pay the prices for the book. To me, it didn't, even in higher grade, it just didn't justify the prices that people wanted. And again, even in lower grade, you'd see a 1.0 for $300. To me, for that book, not worth it. But $200 for a book that could be between a 6 and a 7 grade, I'll take that every time. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to critique the AI art, by all means, please do. Here it is right there for you. Did a little baby Spider-Man. And also, if you want to support me on Patreon, get your name up here and have early access to any of my auctions and be able to make offers on any comic I do in a future auction before anybody else can see it. Just join at patreon.com/WeLoveComics. The minimum to join anybody's Patreon is $2 a month. But if we get up to 20 paid members, I got some giveaways. And for every $2 you contribute, you get one entry. And 95% pretty much of the contributions that come in help me take care of the stray cats that I take care of. And I had to take my cat Shy to the vet just today, and I have to take one of the other outside cats to the vet on Wednesday. So the contributions definitely help with vet bills and medicines and foods and all that other fun stuff. So you can contribute if you want. If you can't, completely understand. But again, if I get to 20 paid members in a month, every single month there are 20 paid members, I will do a giveaway. So we're 5 short. So let's see if we can do it. So let's see. Before I go, Silver Surfer says, I feel the same about treasury books. Nothing wrong with them, just not my thing. There we go. Same thing. Doesn't mean they're bad. Just means, everybody has preferences, and there's nothing wrong with that. Alex says, I store mine in Life magazine boxes. Yeah, that's great. And Alex, see, like I said, if many people, like for example, like me and Silver Age Surfer, if we're not into it, those are 2 less people you have to worry about if you see a book that you want to get from outbidding you or snatching it up. So sometimes it's good to have people not like or just not want something that you find fascinating or something you love to collect. Look at it from a positive point of view, you'll always succeed. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I would love to hear what you thought about the price of this. Do you think I got a good deal? Would you have paid that price for that book? And what would have been the highest you would have paid before you heard the price? So thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate you guys. Much love to you all. Give our surprise. There we go. I'm having a stroke. Our surprise subscriber shout outs. Hey, surprise subscriber shout out. I'll see you next video, everybody. It's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed